back to JM Lectures. JM stands for Just Mary, that would be me. And today we're going to be covering the first unit of grade 9 biology. So this unit has two subunits, renowned Ethiopian biologists and the biological research in Ethiopia. So if you came here hoping to know more about these subunits, I'm sorry to disappoint, I'm not going to be covering these subunits. If you want to learn more about them, I recommend you read the Ethiopian National Curriculum textbooks from pages 1 through 6 for the first subunit and pages 7 through 9 for the second subunit. So if you're interested in knowing more about these two subunits and you have a Telegram account, I'll be sure to leave a link in the description box below to my Telegram channel where I have the PDF versions of all the grade 9 Ethiopian National Curriculum textbooks. So if I'm not going to be covering these two subunits, what am I covering? Two bonus units. Now these two units are the characteristics of living things and the scientific method. I added these two concepts because they're so important in order to understand the essence of biology. So first, the characteristics of living things. Let's first in fact start with a definition of biology. Luckily enough, it's in the name itself. Bio means life and logy means study. So biology simply means the study of life as well as living things. Now what's a living thing? You might think you're smart and say living thing is a thing that's living, but that's a horrible definition to what a living thing is. Living things are things with specific characteristics. 6 characteristics of living things are metabolism, assimilation, respiration, reproduction, movement, and excretion. We'll go through each of these characteristics one by one. The first is metabolism. So metabolism simply means all the chemical reactions that take place within the body. There's two types of metabolism. There's catabolism, Alright, so there's catabolism and there's anabolism. Now to remember which is which, catabolism kind of sounds like cut, so you can think of it as chemical reactions that help cut or break down bigger units into smaller subunits. Anabolism would simply be the opposite. You'd have smaller units and you'd build them up. So catabolism would mean breaking down something, while anabolism would be building something up. A good example of catabolism is digestion. So let's say we have a huge burger, and we eat this burger. It doesn't just sit in our stomachs as that big burger. It is broken down through catabolism into protein and carbohydrate and all things our body may need. While a good example of anabolism could be the growth of our bones and our muscles. Our bones and muscles grow because of some chemical reactions that help build up our bones and muscles. Next we have assimilation. Now assimilation just means using energy. So we had that food and we broken down that food and we got energy, and you use that energy for almost all processes that happen within the organism. Next is respiration. Now respiration, it's not as simple as breathing. In that one breath, a lot of things happen. We take in oxygen, and this oxygen is used to release energy from the food we eat. And then we exhale and release carbon dioxide, which is the waste product. So respiration is actually that process of releasing energy from the food that we take in. Next we have reproduction. Now reproduction, you can simply consider it as having the next generation or ensuring the continuity of a species. You want to ensure you have offspring, so your offsprings have offspring, so your species lives on and on and on and on. Next is movement. Now movement can be as simple as changing your location from one place to another, but it's not always that simple. You might think, well, plants are living things. Do plants move? Yeah, plants move too, but although you can't always see it. I don't mean the movement of plants like if wind is blowing on it. I mean the plant actually moves towards a certain direction. Sometimes, for example, if a plant is just out of reach from sunlight, which it needs to survive, it might change its growth route to grow towards the sunlight in order to photosynthesize. Similarly with the roots might grow towards somewhere where there's more nutrients. That form of growth can be considered movement as well. Something as small as some bacteria moves with its flagellum. Something as large as a blue whale also moves with its fins. So, all living organisms move. Next, we have excretion. Now, excretion works hand in hand with metabolism because with all chemical processes that happen within us, there's usually a waste product. We don't use everything in the chemical reaction. And these waste products are released through the process known as excretion. So these 6 characteristics can be used as almost a checklist for living things. A big debate happening in the scientific world is whether or not a virus is a living thing. The thing is, It doesn't check all of these 6 steps, but it's so much like a living thing, people really want to call a living thing, but it doesn't check everything on the list. So it's a big debate whether viruses should be considered living things or not. This is the end of the first part of the almost bonus unit of grade 9 biology. Stay tuned for the second part.